A night to remember for the Bengals in Big D. Mike Petraglia inside AT&T Stadium. Here on Monday night, the Bengals finally did two things. They found a way to win in primetime for the first time in 4 tries this season, and they found a way to finish a game. 27-20 over the Dallas Cowboys, and it was a very unlikely comeback from 20-17 down early in the fourth quarter. The Bengals tied it on Cade York's second field goal of the night, filling in for Evan McPherson. He had a very good night. And then the special teams looked like they had the blunder of the night for the Bengals. Ryan Rico gets a punt blocked right about his 30-yard line, and it was blocked by former Bengal Nick Vigil, of all people. But the Cowboys committed the same mistake that Leon Lett committed back in 1993 against the Miami Dolphins in the snow. He touched the ball after the ball had passed the line of scrimmage. It was the Bengals recovering it at about the 35-yard line. Mema Enjunk Meta becoming the hero just by falling on the ball, put the ball back in Joe Burrow's hands with just under 2 minutes to go. A couple of plays, actually 3 plays after the recovery for the Bengals. It was Joe Burrow with his second touchdown connection of the night to Jamar Chase. Who else? 40 yards down the right sideline in front of a very jubilant Bengals bench. And then the Bengals held on for the final 61 seconds to record their 5th victory in 13 tries this year. They are 5-8. And maybe there still is a flicker of playoff hope. They have the Tennessee Titans, the Brian Callahan reunion game in Nashville next Sunday on short rest. And then they have the Cleveland Browns on the 22nd at Paycor Stadium. They win those 2 games. They're 7-8 going into a showdown with the Denver Broncos also at Paycor Stadium. So still lots of football to be played. But the 2 stars of the night, no surprise. Joe Burrow took an absolute beating. He left or was in the locker room after this game, completing 33 of 44 passes for 368 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also had a touchdown pass to running back Chase Brown, but he left, was seen in the locker room with a sleeve on his left knee. He thinks perhaps it's a bursa type of injury, a swollen knee. It is going to be sore for quite some time, according to Burrow, but nothing that will keep him from getting back on the field this Sunday in Nashville. But again, we have to see how his knee responds to it. He actually played the last 2 drives of this game with that sleeve on his left knee. He also suffered a strained neck, no doubt, getting his head twisted on an obvious face mask that was not called late in the fourth quarter. So Burrow really took a beating again here on Monday night, but he was able to make it through and connect with Jamar Chase for the game-winning touchdown pass. What about Jamar Chase? He had 14 catches on 18 targets, 177 yards, and 2 more touchdowns. He has 15 on the season. The club record is 17. Now, he was asked by Dan Horde after the game, did he think about sliding before getting to the end zone so the Bengals could run out the clock and kick a game-winning field goal? And he said, nah, I wanted to score. So he was at least honest after the game. But speaking about after the game, that's where a lot of news was made on this Monday night. It was Joe Burrow saying and telling reporters that he's confident that the Bengals will do whatever it takes to get some negotiations done with T. Higgins to bring him back next year. As far as Jamar Chase, Burrow said pay him whatever he wants. He's worth it and more, according to Joe Burrow. Not surprising he would say that after the kind of game Jamar Chase had here on Monday night, a game that puts Jamar Chase back atop the Triple Crown pass receiving standings. That means he leads in touchdowns, pass receptions, and receiving yards after 14 weeks of the NFL season. So we'll see what happens in the final 4 weeks. Also making news after the game, it was Joe Burrow talking about just how much he has gone through this season in terms of the bad breaks, and to finally see a break go his way really meant something to him. And by the way, after that Chase Brown touchdown in the first half, he did a celebration in the Salvation Army bowl, and that might get him a fine, something that shocked him after the game. But we'll see if the NFL indeed does fine Chase Brown for jumping in to that Salvation Army Bowl and a bucket and doing a celebration there. Quite a night here in Big D. Lots of news on the field, lots of news off of it after the game. We'll keep you posted on Joe Burrow's left knee, any contract talks and rumors and speculation regarding T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. We'll certainly have that. All of it coming up and more on the Jungle Roar Skinny Bengals postgame pod. That's on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@JungleRoarPod. All of the postgame interviews up there right now on the X @Trags, TRAGS. And, of course, as always, CLNSCincy with a Y.com. Final again, the Bengals 27, the Cowboys 20, inside AT&T Stadium. Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media.